Hey, what's up? How are you doing, guys? Let me adjust this real quick. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're gonna be going live. We go live once a week or twice a week, every Tuesday, every Friday, to answer questions in relation to Facebook advertising. What's going on in the Facebook advertising world? What's going on with Instagram? What's going on with Snapchat? My name is Brian Meert. I'm the CEO of a company called Advertisemint, and that's all we do all day, every day. So yeah, I'd love to, we're gonna do some updates today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to go ahead and drop them in the comments below. Any questions in relation to Facebook advertising at all, I'll try to answer a couple of them as I can as we go through, if any of them show up. And if you're watching this later, after we've already gone live, go ahead and leave a comment anyway. A lot of times we go back, look up old questions, and try to answer them from there. But we have a couple of updates today, which I'm pretty excited about. The first one is Facebook just released their earnings yesterday, and their shares have hit a record high. So this is awesome. It's great news. Facebook has, definitely established themselves as a dominant force in the advertising world, with most of online advertising going to either Google or now Facebook. That these are the two companies that are really controlling this industry. So it's great news if you are putting ads on Facebook. If you're not, man, the writing was on the wall a couple of years ago. You have got to move into Facebook. If you're doing things like direct mail, or billboards, or local radio ads, there is a ton of stuff. There are a ton of options that are much more cost effective and more targeted on the Facebook and Instagram platform. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. But you need to, if you're not on there, if you're not using the platform, you need to be, because it's phenomenal. A couple things that they had from their updated report. Their mobile ad revenue grew by over 50% from the last quarter last year. Again, great numbers that they are exploding in growth. More advertisers are coming to them. More people are wanting to place ads. They have more places that they're creating to be able to show ads. I still think it's interesting that 87% of their revenue is coming from mobile devices. So, I mean, almost 90% of what they're generating, which is around, I think, 12 to $13 billion per year, is all coming from mobile phones. And this is just, again, the writing is on the wall, or has been for a long time, that mobile phones are where people are at during most of the day. It's the best way to be able to reach people, and Facebook and Google have kind of dominated being able to capture those audiences from there. Some of the other updates, Facebook has 2 billion users. They're well over 2 billion users. They also said Instagram has hit 700 million users, which is, again, great that both those platforms are continuing to grow. And then the one thing that I thought was really interesting is they said that within a couple of weeks, Facebook is going to start scripted shows that they're going to start appearing on Facebook. So a lot of people, I think Snapchat mentioned this as well. There's some other platforms. Netflix has created their own shows where they're putting money behind it to be able to produce quality content that people want to consume. So again, that in itself is a huge disruption from the traditional kind of entertainment industry. So it's going to be fascinating to see how that kind of pans out over the future. But anyway, something to look forward to. Almost at the same time that Facebook hit their all-time high, Snapchat hit their all-time low. Now their stock only went public a couple months ago. It launched at about $27 a share, and it has recently dropped to like $3.50 a share since its opening. So again, this comes from a couple things. It's getting hammered by Instagram, who continually just steals its or copies their best features and brings them over onto their platform. And then yeah, just continual, they're getting hammered in that area. Well, I did think it was interesting that Evan, the CEO of Snapchat, recently hired or acquired a company called Strong Codes, which is a Swiss startup that specializes in producing software that can be software that prevents it protects software from being reverse engineered. So basically now Snapchat is investing in being able to protect the other larger companies from coming in and copying what they're doing. Snapchat's super innovative when it comes to a lot of what they're doing and the features that they're providing for users. And to some extent, they're very much spot on with a lot of the stuff that they're creating. Stories, face filters, things like that. So, very, very, it's something that it's going on and it's just important to know about. So, we'll see kind of what happens and how things pan out. But this is definitely a very, very competitive landscape. Okay, so I wanted to talk also about a recent article that HubSpot did. It was actually an infographic, and they were discussing the topic, how long should a video be for paid social? And it's a really good question because a lot of people aren't sure. There's a lot of different stuff that goes on in the landscape of videos on social, whether it's vertical layout or horizontal layout or square layout or vertical layout. How long should it be? All the different platforms have different lengths. Snapchat's from 3 to 10 seconds. Instagram stories used to be from 10 to 15. So you've got to be able to create all these different pieces of content in different sizes, in different formats. And it can get a bit overwhelming for sure. So here's what they came back with and some of the numbers that they said from our platform, people that have been using it. Here's some numbers that we found in terms of how long your video should be on these platforms. So the first one was Instagram, and they said that videos that had the most comments averaged around 26 seconds in length. Again, good to know. That's something that they were saying that's kind of the sweet spot of what they found for what people would watch and then actually put a comment on. For Twitter, they found that the video of the day, the hashtag that was tweeted out of that generally averaged 43 seconds in time, the length of the video. So again, if you're doing a lot with Twitter, that may be it's a little bit longer video time, at least according to HubSpot. For YouTube, they found that the most engagement on videos are within videos that are 2 minutes long. So again, this is something that, YouTube may be a little stronger user base. People are there to consume just videos. There really isn't a ton of other stuff you can do besides leave comments. Whereas Facebook, there's news, other things going on. So, YouTube, people are expecting to watch videos a little bit longer, which makes sense. And then Facebook, according to HubSpot, the engagement rates were highest when the video length was right around 1 minute. So again, I thought that was very fascinating, and this is all according to HubSpot. Some of the data that I've gotten from Facebook, as I've been either at their offices or talking with people on their team or reading some of their case studies, are the truth is people's attention span is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And if you want to see this in action, go find someone under the age of 13, like a nephew or someone that's in your family, and give them a phone or watch over their shoulder as they go through a news feed or Snapchat or any of these platforms where they're consuming social content. And you will see what is just a lightning pace of their ability to consume, to understand, to go through content. It's very, very quick and very rapid. So what Facebook says is they say the average time that you have before someone will scroll through on the newsfeed or scroll past your post or your ad is 1.7 seconds. So like 1,000, that's it. That's all the time you have. So this is why a lot of times when it comes to video, they want you to front load it. A lot of movie trailers now, you'll notice, are cut in a session where they'll show you a couple of scenes from the movie before the trailer will go into how it opens, which is traditionally with the movie studio's logo and some music kind of leading into the trailer. Now they're changed because of how people consume content on social media. So 1.7 seconds before they go. And then Facebook has said for a long time that their average view time for videos is about 10 seconds. Or 15 seconds, sorry. So 15 seconds is the average time that people are going to view. So what that means is when you're building your content or your creative, you want to be able to get something factual or why a person on the other end would care. What does it matter to them in front of them within the first 1 to 2 seconds, and then you've got about 15 seconds to be able to show them what you want to show them before there's a likely chance they'll be gone. So again, just good things to know as you're doing video campaigns or creating new videos. A lot of times we'll have clients that'll send us and they'll be like, hey, we've got here's a 5-minute video of how amazing our company is, and we don't see the views go through that at all. It's very rare, so we have to a lot of times trim it up and make it shorter. So anyway, that's it for video views. The last thing that I had today was I wanted to talk about a question that a lot of people have when it comes to Facebook advertising, which is how do you lower the cost of your Facebook ads, right? It's easy to put an ad up. It's easy to select some targeting, start running your ads, leave it on auto bid. You're gonna start paying for something. Facebook will charge you and you're on your way. But the problem is what people want is like, I wanna pay less for my ads, and what are the options that I have to do that? So I wanna walk you through a couple of tips on how you can be able to do that in your own campaign. Number one, and this is hands down probably the biggest one, and the other ones are kind of supporting factors, is if you want to lower how much you pay for Facebook ads, the number one way to research that and to be able to get that down is by watching your relevance score. Your relevance score is a number between 1 and 10 that shows how valuable your ad is to other people on Facebook. And so Facebook is in the business of making their platform valuable to the people who are using it, right? They're going after your attention. So just like TV channels, if there's a TV channel that's putting on something boring, what do? You're gone, right? They don't have much time. Facebook understands that same concept, and so they want things that are valuable on their platform for people to consume. This is where when you do your ads, the relevance score is going to show you, are you valuable to the people you're targeting, or are you invaluable, or not valuable at all, and people are just leaving? And so what happens is you need to look at that number. If it is a 1, 2, or 3, you get an F, you're failing. You've got to change your ads, or you've got to change your targeting. Something's wrong there, really wrong, because no one cares about what you're doing. You need to come back with a fresh approach, or get some creative people to help you come up with something new that would be valuable for the people that you're going after. If you're in the 4, 5, 6, 7 range, you're average. You're doing okay, but it's not necessarily something that's gonna your ads are still gonna be a normal average price. If it's the 1, 2, or 3. Facebook will let you stay there, but they're going to start raising how much they're making you pay for the ads. If it's a 4, 5, 6, 7, it's going to be kind of average in terms of bidding. But if you can get into the 8s, 9s, and 10s, and 10 is really the sweet spot, when you're hitting 10s, you'll see what happens in terms of the cost per click, your CPM rates. Everything will go massively down because it's that much better in terms of the users who are viewing it on Facebook. So that's it. Relevance score is the number one thing you should be looking at if you want to lower the cost you're paying per clicks. Relevance score is what you should be doing. The second thing is you need to look at increasing your click-through rate. This is again very important, and it's something that you have a number that you can measure and monitor it at any point in time. This can be things like your call to action buttons, right? Something like shop more or shop now is going to give you less people that are going to actually click, because it's kind of a commitment, call to action button. Whereas something like learn more, you may get more people that explore and like, oh, let me go check this out, because it doesn't seem like you're saying you must commit to this. You can go and window shop, and that's okay. Those type of things will help increase or decrease your click-through rate. Another thing that you can do is your copy and the copy that you're using. We've seen times where we test simple, clean copy. That works very well. There's times where we'll actually write out a long piece of copy that talks about the process, why it's valuable, why the audience that we're targeting would care about this. We see that work well. And a lot of times it's going back and forth to be able to get the click-through rate to continually improve. The higher you can get that, the less you're going to be paying for each action, because you're very efficient with the time that you have or the people that you're approaching. The third thing that you can do is improve your targeting. This is a mistake I see a lot of people make, or a lot of accounts that we work on when they come to us, is they start with this huge, wide, people start their ads with, well, let's start with all the targeting that Facebook has. And that can be a mistake, because a lot of times it's just too big, especially in comparison with the budgets that they have. So to some extent, if you've got a smaller budget, you should not be targeting 20 million people or 30 million people. You should be trying to focus it down, bringing it inside of a lookalike, using the and or statements to be able to get more specific, and focusing your budget on the people that are most likely going to care about your ads. And when you do that, you'll see the click-through rate go up, you'll see the relevance score go up, and you'll see the cost per click go down quite a bit. The other option you can do to improve or decrease your cost per ad is to set up remarketing. Remarketing is hands down where we see a lot of our best conversions, or our best kind of cost per clicks come from. And that's simply from the fact that these are people that have already looked into the window of a store or browsed the store, and you're going back to them and saying, hey, remember us? Here's some other things that we have. Or you looked at this specific product, but did you know this product also has these features, or this may be something that works very well for you. So a lot of times remarketing is simply just talking to people that have already expressed an interest in a set product. And this is, again, if you can focus on those type of people, you're going to see your cost per action go down quite a bit, simply because they're already interested in you. They've taken the time to look or window shop, and you're just coming back up and engaging them in another conversation. If you can imagine it like friends, I always call this, it's weird because when you meet someone for the first time, you'll see them a certain way, right? And then what happens is, as you start to talk to them more and more and more, a lot of times the way you see them changes. There's got to be a name for this or some sort of scientific explanation, but I just remember from elementary school to junior high, high school, college, I always thought it was weird because you'd meet someone and then they would change you a little bit. So it's the same sort of thing with Facebook. As you want to be able to engage with people more, and as they start to build that relationship, as they become your friend or invested in your company or your brand, they're much more likely to care about what you're doing, which will improve your results. The next thing that you can do, one last thing. When it comes to remarketing, Facebook has continued to build out segments. So it's not necessarily just people that have come to your website. Facebook now can build out things like page engagement. Are people engaging with your page? Are they clicking a button? Are they commenting? You can break all those things out and do it based on time. So people in the last week, people in the last month, people in the last 180 days. You can also do it based off lead forms, people that have submitted, people that have opened but not submitted, people that have seen a lead form. You can do canvas ads. And then you can also do, this is a new one, which is Instagram engagement. So now users that are engaging with your Instagram page, you have the ability to create a custom audience off of them and go back and target your ads towards them. Again, these are powerful tools that give you kind of tools that you never had before to be able to have those conversations with the people that are most likely going to care about your business. Next up is split test. So split testing. This is another thing that you can do to help lower the cost per result, or the cost of your ads. We almost always do this. There's almost never a time where we'll run an ad set with just a single ad in it. Almost always there will be at least two, because when those two ads are running against each other, we're going to be able to tell which one's more expensive, which one's less expensive. And then what happens is we can turn off the more expensive one, and then we go back and try to find another ad that can beat this one. It's called champion, challenger, or A/B testing, but it's definitely something that you should be doing with your Facebook ads. If you only have one ad in your ad set running, that's the first way, not the first way, but that's a fantastic way that you can be able to go to start improving on your results. All right, let's see what else. Last one. This is the last tip that I've got for how to lower the cost of your Facebook ads, which is look into the different placement options. Use your tool to use the breakdowns, and a lot of times you'll see things like the sidebar or the mobile newsfeed or different areas will kind of spike in cost. A lot of times you have the ability to go in. If you see one being more expensive, you can turn it off. You can actually build it out to where you focus on each one at a time. So you could do the same ad and be like, I want to show it just on Instagram, just on the Facebook newsfeed for mobile, just on the Facebook newsfeed for desktop, and you can just on the sidebar. And you can actually watch the results for all of those across the board, and that would give you an idea of where am I spending the most, and where can I get the most at the lowest possible price. So that's it. Those are my tips for how to lower your cost on Facebook ads. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and that was good. So I want to thank you guys for joining. I see a bunch of people in here. Jace, Mauricia, thanks for joining. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Otherwise, no. I was talking about doing that today to your Instagram ads. That's great. Yeah. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you for hanging out, and we'll see you next week. Peace.